And good evening from Geeks of the Round. My name is Todd Grundle, smiling at you awkwardly, live from the East Coast, here to discuss. I almost said Game of Thrones. What the hell is wrong with me? We haven't discussed Game of Thrones in God knows how long. We're here to discuss American Horror Story, Episode 8, Season 4. It is just Isaiah Mullins. What's up?
Hey, hello everyone.
And myself today. For now, at least. More may show up as we go. And it's funny, it's the two biggest haters of this show.
Yeah, pretty much.
And this episode, we're going to be like the two biggest fanboys of this show.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so you said you had a lot to say. Let's just jump right into the discussion. Isaiah, tell me what you said. There was a lot of interesting stuff. What did you find most interesting?
Oh God, there was, and to be honest, folks, there was a lot. I mean, the acting was great. Kathy Bates was actually good. Jessica Lange was amazing. The emotions were good.
Here.
And other things like that.
Oops, we had a small dropout there.
Yeah, sorry.
That's good. I forgot to fix the cameraman app. Let's just real quick introduce. Also, we have Emmy E.
Yes.
Hello, Emmy. We jumped into the discussions real quick because we really liked the episode. Isaiah was telling us what he likes most. But before he goes back to that, did you like or dislike the episode?
I thought it was really good.
All right, so we're all in the same boat here.
Yeah.
Isaiah, take us away.
Man, it was just a lot of great acting from both sides. There was no crazy bullshit storylines like the twins or whatever. But the best one was Dandy. He had the best character development and also the best backstory, thanks to his mother and a psychiatrist. It was like, wow, that's pretty good because it made me feel more for this character than anyone else in the show. And Jessica Lange's character was more cooler because she did a lot of crazy acting. It was like, wow. And Kathy Bates' character, it was just pure out great emotions from both characters. It was like, wow. Now this is acting right here. Why can't we get more of this? I want more acting like this.
I agree. Dandy's acting, sometimes you might think it's a little cheesy when he does those extreme looks that he does, maybe a little cliched. But he's really giving that cliche life. He's giving it reality,
Yep,
Right.
definitely.
Oh, no. You go ahead, Amy.
I know that, like, for the most part, people hate Dandy, but when he had that gun and he was about to shoot himself before he
Oh, God, yeah.
I was like, no, don't kill yourself yet.
Yeah, I couldn't. I did not want him to go. Honestly, I didn't want his mom to go either. Spoiler alert. Why are you watching? I didn't want his mom to get snuffed either. She was one of my favorite characters. I just liked the vapidness of her.
Right.
I think it was too early for her to go, but if it had to be one of them, I'd rather it be her than him.
Right.
Definitely, yeah.
There was a lot of good this time.
Oh, yes. Amazing.
Not good, but a lot of good stuff happened,
Yeah, for instance, here's another good bit of the show. All right, I'm going to have a really bad lighting problem with this dog. He's about to knock my light over. That's what's been distracting me a lot. Stop it, you jerk. How they dealt with, what's her name? Mama, the tiny woman.
Ma Petite, yes.
Ma Petite. I really liked the way they dealt with that because I left last week or 2 weeks ago wondering how the hell is Dell going to, come back from this. And now we see.
Right.
He set it up pretty good. That's why he gave her that dress, so that way he could take her old dress and.
Right.
All right, he's set now. The dog's in his chair, waiting to be interviewed. I shouldn't have any more issues. Oh boy! If you hear a loud crash, hangout's over.
I thought it was neat that there's this whole search party. Everybody's looking for Ma Petite because even though she was such a small role, it was like she was always kind of there. She was like the porcelain doll up on the shelf. You don't really do much with it, but it's always there and you adore it. And then I really like how the whole thing went back and forth between Kathy Bates and Jessica Lange's characters. She's like, "Oh, I just know it. You went and killed her." And usually it was Jessica Lange's character. Usually it was Elsa who was doing stuff to people. And now the one time that it wasn't her, of course people think it was her. I
Yeah.
the whole
Right.
thing with her going and she throws the knife. Why can't I remember Kathy Bates' character's name? Bearded lady.
Oh shit.
It's Harry Lady. I can't remember.
Bearded lady, yeah.
Elsa? No, not Elsa. That's the other one. What the fuck is her name? It's on the tip of my tongue right now.
Right, and it was so much great stuff going on. And actually, if you think
No
about it,
real name, so.
and also Emmy, if you think about it, it was Jessica Lange's character's fault. It's all her fault. She did all of this just for some stupid fame because she made a deal with the devil, which was the doctor.
Right. Dell was doing it because that fake doctor guy's there, and he's like, give me a person, blah blah blah. But I mean, when I say that it wasn't Elsa's fault this time, I mean directly. She didn't literally go and kill the person. She went away and she went and tried to take the twins away, take them out of the picture. She literally took them. She was doing stuff like that to people. She's plotting against people.
I wasn't okay with that.
Yeah, but this time with Ma Petite, she would have never done anything to Ma Petite. That's probably the only person she wouldn't have done something to, and that's the person who was gone.
That was really sad too. I mean, that was actually one thing I was missing from the whole death of Ma Petite. Unlike me, there was actually like some more build up behind it and actually a good release from it because people actually felt sad for me. But for when they actually killed off Ma Petite, it was felt like it was rushed and pretty much it didn't feel right. But here, it made it a little bit more right because everyone had a big aftermath from it. Like, wow, what?
Yeah.
What? All the people in the world, she goes? Because I know that feeling itself. Because I know how, you have one of your best friends and they're pretty much the most nicest people on earth, and you see them gone out of nowhere instead of some other asshole. I feel that pain. So it's like, yeah, it's like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. So this was actually a good rebound from that awful death. So it was a good aftermath of it.
You made me think of an interesting question. I wonder, let's say it was switched around. Let's say they killed off Ma Petite in the episode. They killed off Meep, and they kept Meep around. They gave him a lot of background, or just kept him in the background like they did with Ma Petite, and killed him this episode. Would it have been as powerful? When Ma Petite died then, would it have been as emotional as the Meep death? And if Meep stayed alive so long, would that Meep, that big drawn-out Meep, would we have been tired of hearing Meep so many times that it wouldn't have been emotional? Or do you guys think it would have been even more emotional because we would have known him more?
Well,
there's two questions there, I know.
Actually, I can break that down to even one answer. It's like, look at it like this. Remember that one girl? I forgot her name. Her name was Nan. And it was a coven.
Yeah, Jamie Brewster.
Right. And I loved her. I loved her character so much. Like, we didn't have some problems with her, but I still liked her very much so because she was so... I mean, she was an actual real person playing a role in one of the bigwigs. So I actually liked her acting, and she was really cool. So if you look at Meep and Ma Petite, if they stay around even longer, I think audience like me would not get tired of them even for 1 second. Like, no, I don't get tired of them. But people ideally get tired of these real actors. Like, dude, you're boring me. Give me some real shit. Give me that good shit, which is Ma Petite and Meep, if they stay around even longer. But since they was like the background characters, and we seem like, oh my god, we're gonna get some good story behind them, and now they're gone. It's like it kind of feel like it's like there's an empty void there. Like who's gonna take over their place of really interesting character development? So that is why, if they stay on longer, it would have been helpful for the show itself, not a dislike for it.
I feel like we missed out a lot on Meep. I think that they could have done more with his story before he was killed. And then there's people like what's her name? Emma Roberts?
Oh my god. Let's talk about her next. I have some complaints about her.
Oh god, she's still terrible.
She's terrible. Like, okay, this girl, I understand that, Emma's fake fortune teller chick has had a pretty decent life or whatever. But, she comes in and she thinks that it's like her duty to stop these people from going and fucking
Right.
with that dad, when he against her will went and he shaved part of her head, had her whole head like all tattooed up, her face and everything, had her tongue split and all this stuff, all because of who she liked,
Right.
which had nothing to do with him.
Right.
And so honestly, he kind of deserves something to happen to him. And
Right.
she could come in and say, "Oh, don't kill him. This is gonna be bad for you." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, to me, I said like shut up. You don't know shit at all. Like you're just nobody. So shut up.
And who is she? Who is she to make a moral call? Look what she does. Look why she's there. She's there to abduct, and she works with the guy who abducts and murders.
Because she wanted to kill Ma Petite. Remember, she was going in and she was testing out the size of the jar so that she could fit Ma Petite in there, and then she just didn't go through with it.
Okay, so that's what makes her better, because she couldn't go through.
Right. And also, it made things even worse is that her character is also still shady as hell. She was still cahoots when Jessica Lange killed the bearded lady itself. That was really like, I don't know, like, oh my god. Because I love Kathy Bates' character. She was amazing in this episode.
And didn't she do all that after her little moral speech?
Maybe, yeah. But again, it was still great. But however, when you see her just look at the fake doctor, like, yeah, we did some shady shit, which we see like the aftermath of how her head was actually like snapped off from her body. It was like, damn, you said she was your sister, but you do this?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're the despicable people I ever saw in my life. No. Twisty was he was the most decent person of all time because at least you know what he was doing. It's like, really? Why can't we keep Twisty around? Because he was the actual real character who, in all honesty, he was kind of good, if you think about it.
Could totally do a spin-off and have a show about Twisty.
Right.
They seriously could. I would watch it.
Same here.
Or a movie, bring it to the big screen, like, you know, every certain night of the year, Twisty comes back and get a whole new movie franchise.
Yeah.
Because they had that is it Mordrake? I don't remember.
Mordor.
Two-Face.
Mordor, we always call him.
I call him Two-Face.
You know how he comes back on Halloween, and, you know, it could be something like, they could do that as the spinoff, like Twisty took over for that guy or something. I don't know. They could do something, though.
Yeah, like he killed Mordor in hell or something.
Yeah. But also, that's actually just one question. This is going to be a good one, too. So, knowing the fact that you're killing off these really cool characters, does this make the show kind of more boring? Because if you think about what's the main arc itself, the Doctor trying to get some freaks, and
that is a good question, because
that's the point, really.
I wondered the same thing when they killed. You know, I just thought that Kathy Bates and Jessica Lange had a real good back and forth chemistry. I thought there was going to be a real build up between what broke them and then maybe some back and forth cat and mouse type shit, and then somebody would die. But it seems like it just started and then boom, somebody's dead. And I do think the show is a little bit lacking. I mean, but that's the thing. Everybody who's been killed off so far, to me, I thought, wow, they killed this person too soon.
Yeah.
Right.
Beginning all the way with me. I mean, Twisty. They've had all these awesome characters, and they're just killing them off. But this episode, they also bring us in this new really big fat lady, right? We've got Neil Patrick Harris coming later in the season with his husband. Neil Patrick Harris is playing a larger role. His husband's having one episode. We're getting Jamie Brewster later in the season. So we're getting more characters, and we're getting high profile, like Neil Patrick Harris. So it makes me think this show has really got something in store for us, because they've been offing everything awesome about it. They've been killing, and yet we're still each week mostly like, this is awesome. You know, we're still thinking it's awesome.
Well,
This
true.
is the best episode yet.
Yeah, pretty much.
What was that last part?
Even though it sucks that they killed Kathy Bates' character, because Ethel, they killed Ethel because, you know, we all liked Ethel. Her freaking accent was annoying as fuck, but whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody liked her character. She had a lot of good in her as a person. The fact that she went to the doctor and she was sick, I kind of don't like that they killed her the way they did, because I think she dealt with a lot in her life, so we know she wasn't going to kill herself.
Right.
If she put up with all the shit that she put up with all those years, then she's not going to pussy out and kill herself. She's just not. So the fact that people so easily believed that makes me wonder, what are they going to do with that? There's gonna have to be a revisit to that whole thing. There has to be. If they don't do it, if they don't revisit that and say, wait a minute, she didn't kill herself, then there's a problem, because
I
everybody
think they
knows
will.
that.
I think they will. Maybe when is his name Jimmy Darling? Or was that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he sobers up, I think he's gonna want to see her face again or something. And
Right. Also, Jimmy's actually been killing each episode, and this one is actually no exception because he just see him break down. It's just he has the worst day ever. Like, okay, I lost Meep. Okay, I lost Moppity. Okay, I can't find the twins. Okay, now my mom's dead. Oh, come on already! What the hell? My life is shit.
He has had connections with everybody. I mean, he didn't have anything huge with Ma Petite, but again, she was a very small character.
Right.
We're wasting one now. But he was close with Meep. He was very close with Meep, you could tell, even though, again, he wasn't there that long. But Jimmy was close with Meep. Obviously, he was close with his mom. It's like people who stuff is happening to, he's pretty close with. So I'm starting to wonder, is he going to think that everything is his fault in some weird, twisted way? And maybe he's going to go off the deep end because he thinks that because of his actions, he's made these things happen.
Right.
And I kind of want to see more of Paul, especially now that they've brought that girl in, the snake girl or whatever, reptile girl. Now that they've brought her in and that's like his woman or whatever, he was sick before, but we saw him, but I don't think he said anything. I think we just saw him on camera. So I want more from him.
Oh, it was like during Paul, right?
Yeah, Paul.
He was picking something up, wasn't he?
It was.
Like,
I think it was when they were. I think he was helping cover Ethel's head.
yeah, he looked healthy again. He looked like he's all out of the woods.
So I'm hoping that they do something positive with him and the reptile chick, because I think that the two of them go well together, and I think that she really cared for him even though he was different. So now that she is different as well, I think it would be horrible if they were to make him turn against her. Well, because you're all tattooed and crap now. Because he's tattooed, I think it might make it easier on them because now they're both freaks.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think that he was ever going to turn away from her.
I kind of wondered, would they do that? Because, I've seen a lot of different things where that happens, where this one person has some kind of difference, and somebody who is normal likes them, but as soon as the normal person changes and is different themselves, then the first person who was always different doesn't like them anymore. I mean, that kind of bullshit happens a lot in different TV shows. But I'm hoping that Paul's character is above that. It would be neat if, how they've done, like they've gone back in time and shown us how people came to, like how Elsa lost her legs and all that stuff.
We got more of a bit of a glimpse of this episode.
Well, I want to know if she was lying.
Well, do you know who that was? Don't forget what you're saying, but real quick, do you know who that was? Who was the doctor working on her legs? Who made the wooden legs for her?
Was it the bald guy from Coven?
No, it was the saxophone playing rapist ghost from Coven.
Oh, it was him. I knew it was familiar.
Yeah, but what were you saying?
You told me not to forget, so of course I did.
Of course, it was about that. I wasn't listening
okay.
at all. That's why I don't know. No.
Yeah. since they've gone into the past with things.
Ah, yes.
So what's happened in previous times with these people, I'm wondering if they might get to a point in the show where they'll fast forward a couple of months, like have something happen, and then they fast forward a couple of months, and then when we come back to the people months from now, everything is totally different. Like maybe Elsa's gone and Jimmy's running the show, because I'm thinking it would be really interesting to see if Paul and the lizard girl end up having a kid. Now, obviously, it's not going to have tattoos, but like, would it have his?
It's going to be born with fucking a forked tongue and it'll be a receding hairline.
It would be interesting to see what type of disability would their child be born with, because physically and mentally, that girl technically, I mean, she had a little bit of craziness going on. But
She just liked to have fun.
But that's what I mean. She was quote unquote normal. So it would be interesting to find out what kind of disability their child may have.
I don't think their kid would have any disability at all, because I think whatever he had, I don't think his parents had that. Like, I think that was one of those things that either skips or is just random, like dwarfism. Isn't dwarfism random?
There is a gene for dwarfism, so if only one parent has it, it's a chance that the child will have it. But if both parents have it, it's more likely, which is really funny because that one family, I can't remember their name, the Roloffs, they have 4 children. They have a set of twins. One is a dwarf, and one is normal stature. And then their other 2 children that were single births are normal stature. So 2 parents who were dwarfs only had 1 of 4 children that was a dwarf. But people who parents who neither one of them is a dwarf can have a dwarf child, and
Right.
parents who are both dwarfs can have an average stature child as well.
Genetics is strange sometimes.
Yeah, but so
Not strange enough. Where's the damn superheroes? Sorry, go ahead.
true,
Right.
true.
They're my superheroes.
But wait, but I believe, isn't Paul shorter as well? Is Paul?
No, he's a tall guy. He's a
He
relatively
is?
tall guy, yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I thought he was that. I don't know why I thought he was shorter.
Because of his arms?
Well,
Because
no, but I thought that I thought his height was shorter.
No, I'm pretty sure he's a tall guy, but only ever see him around pinheads and Ma Petite. Maybe that's why he's been standing next to Ma Petite the whole time.
Yeah. It's getting interesting though. So I'm kind of interested to see. I want to know, are people going to find out that it was Dell? Is Dell going to feel like crap, and he's going to finally confide in someone and say, okay, no, it was me. I killed Ma Petite.
Well, I was gonna save that for while. I was gonna save it for wild speculations. I think that's my speculation, but I'll say it now, and I'll try to find another one later.
Right.
I think maybe it's gonna end up being Dell and Jimmy towards the end, and a real father-son bond had grown, and then Jimmy's gonna find out his father's, secrets and how much of a monster he is, and yeah. Although I think they're going to find a certain kind of mutual understanding or respect or a strange love in the end. Because, it's going to be like, oh, well, you thought about killing me, but you couldn't really do it,
Mm-hmm.
One of those bizarre endings. I don't know. I was trying to think of another movie that had reminded me of that, but I couldn't think of it in time.
Well, and Jimmy killed that cop towards the beginning.
Yeah,
but that was different. Dell's
that was like a crooked cop though. He was like he was in self-defense in a way. He had a gun.
Was that cop really, I mean, was the cop really as horrible as we want to claim he was?
No, but
No,
He just
it
thought,
wasn't as monstrous of a
he
murder.
was a monster, but he was just, to me, he was crooked. And him dying was like, I'm okay with that because he was kind of a douche.
That was sort of like one of those, I'm a fucking criminal, I'm a snake bit. I'm a snake, bitch. That's why you got bit, kind of things. Like
I'm a
they're
shit.
criminals. They're criminals for partially, and or they live the outlaw lifestyle, and that was in kind of an outlaw move. Whereas Dell's killings are, no matter what circle you're in, they're vicious acts. The things he does are very just shady.
Right, right.
He's just a dick. That's it.
Yeah, and the strongman, again, he's no saint either. He's pretty much an awful human being next to Elsa and the doctor and that fake freak show of a awful actress, psychic, whatever her name is.
We never got to her, by the way. My feelings about her in this episode. But say
I'll
what
save
you were
that for
saying,
later.
and then
I'll save that for later.
I gotta say what you were gonna say, and then I gotta really complain.
It's like this. When you look at society itself and how you see like the freaks coming together, that's actually a real life. That's actually real human. That's like a real human nature. That's actually more human than you see awful people.
More human than you, man.
Yeah, exactly. And you see the doctor, he's a freak because he has a sick mind to actually kill off people. They put him in his exhibit. If that's not a freak, I don't know what is. And you see so many other freaks who don't really show their physicalities, but their mental capability show they're the biggest freaks of them all. And Danny's a good example because even the psychiatrist said like, yeah, he's fucking crazy. So the biggest freaks of them all is actually the bad guys, not the people itself, not even Jimmy. It's actually the bad guys and the twins. Because if you think about it even more, like their moral compass, it's more like a freak show itself.
Yeah.
The biggest freaks of them all are us.
Because we're watching it.
No, just people in general.
True.
Sorry. Well, okay. With that said, let me go back to the girl. Has anybody seen Mallrats?
It's been a very long
I
time.
don't give a fuck. I don't remember.
All right. Well, Shannon Doherty in there.
Yeah.
Her acting is really bad. What about Clerks? Have you guys seen Clerks?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You know how Dante's girlfriend acts in that movie, like really bad high school theater play acting.
Yeah.
That's what Emma Roberts felt like to me this whole episode. It just seemed like some bad theater actress, Shannon Doherty, screeching kind of role, and I just don't know what she's doing there. I really think it's just because she's dating Evan Peters. This has to be a nepotism, quote unquote.
Well, does he have anything to do with like the production of the show, or is he just an actor?
Yeah, he's the fucking star. He's he's the Tiger Beat of 2014. Of course, he's got a say in it. It's just like Jessica Lange has it. They all the whatever her name is. What the fuck's her name? Lana Winters, Dot and Bet. Who plays her?
Who cares about her? I'm glad she wasn't in this episode. Like,
Oh, she's not been in it in a while, has she? Or
No, she was in the week before.
Yeah, maybe she was. I can't remember.
She was in. We didn't have an episode last week. But the week before, she was in that episode.
she's really not memorable, so I guess that's why I don't remember her.
Right.
Yeah, really not.
To me. I like the ditzy one, the dumb one, on the right side.
Yeah, but
On the
I
right
guess-
side of the screen, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, right side of the screen, left side of the human.
Yeah, but that was like that whole CGI act. I mean, the whole CGI thing is just to me awful because you know which head is actually who is who because one is not talking and one is talking. You can tell very easily. Like, okay, that's the real one. You're gonna say cut, get to the next one over here. Like, oh, okay, bullshit, and it's just everything behind her. It's just bullshit. It's like,
But you know, it actually did get better.
It did. I was gonna say the same.
Um,
I was gonna say the very same. It did get better.
yeah, true. But I don't think the storyline's gonna get better though, because again, like I said before, they kill off all these interesting characters, not using them with new and pretty much groundbreaking storytelling. It's just like you're just gonna kill them off because we got these freaks and we're gonna cut them off because you like them and we're gonna hurt you. We're gonna hurt you emotionally. Which shows do that, but you're not Game of Thrones. You're not Game of Thrones whatsoever because Game of Thrones has build up behind those characters.
That I will agree with, but I just don't know. It's just too coincidental that they're killing off all their best characters right away. That's either incredibly stupid, and okay, second half of Asylum, all of Coven, could prove them to have a track record of incredible stupidity, but I don't know. I trust them this year. I think they're going to frickin' blow my dick the whole rest of the season. Right off my body. I'm sure of it.
That's saying a lot.
I'm sure of it. But all right, listen. Here's a new feature until our glorious executive producer finds out about it and says, "Stop doing that, Todd." At which case, I'll probably stop doing that. But here's a new feature. It's called Crunch Time. We've got about 15 minutes left of the show, and we still have wild speculations to do. So, okay, we've done a lot of talking, discussing, but let's crunch now. What do you guys really want to talk about?
Oh God.
What a feature, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Talk faster.
I love to talk about Dandy because again, he killed this episode.
We did though. We can go back to Dandy if there's more. We gotta get anything we might have missed.
Oh God.
Okay, Gabourey Sidibe. This woman is a good actor, so I don't know if she has lost her acting skills or if the writers just wrote that horribly because her character this time sucks.
It
And
always sucks.
I feel bad for her as an actress because if you haven't seen her in other things and you just see her on this, you're going to think she's a horrible actress. And her and other stuff, she's not a horrible actress. She's very good at what she does.
Right.
But this character is crap.
You know, I think I have decided that it is intentional. I'm glad you brought it up because it gives me a chance to redeem my ridiculous faux pas from last week. I almost double faux pas by calling my faux pas retarded. Quickly turned it to ridiculous. Then I admitted it. Is that still a faux pas? We don't know. But last week I said she was acting this way because it's of the time era it is, and I said coming off of slavery, which was proves that I didn't pay attention in school.
Right.
The 1950s was not slavery; it was the civil rights movement. My
Right.
point was they were coming off of really racist shit,
Yes.
and for her as a black woman in that time, she definitely had something to prove. And my grandmother, an Italian immigrant, was very much like this character. She spoke that way because she had so much to prove. So when she was working, as part of the Housewives Brigade, building bombs and shit during the World War, whatever, then, she was really proud and she had that same talk about her. That's the way my grandmother would tell stories at Thanksgiving dinner. Seemed just like the way Gabourey Sidibe is playing this role. So I'm gonna give her some credit, and I'm gonna say she's made a choice, and I'm gonna say she actually made an intelligent choice that a lot of us may not get because hey, we live in America. We're stupid.
Right. Bingo.
Well,
God bless us all.
it
God
comes
bless you.
along. Who? It comes along with the whole thing with Ethel, and we all know Kathy Bates is an amazing actress, and we understand that her character is from a certain place in a certain time, so that's why she speaks the way she does. But that accent just does not fit her as an actress.
It doesn't. It's awful.
It grew on me. I'm gonna say that weird Baltimore accent definitely grew on me.
I still to this, well, obviously apparently this is her last episode, but that accent just always got me. And
Yeah.
I watched it knowing that I very much like Kathy Bates as an actress. I very much like Ethel's character. I very much like Ethel as a person and what I felt like her character stood for, so I could look past it. So that's what I'm trying to do with Gabourey Sidibe as well. I like her as an actress, so I want to like her character, and I'm trying to find something that's going to make me kind of overlook the way that she's delivering her lines. But I can see what you're saying with, people of all ages, ethnicities, everything. People are people. Nobody's better, nobody's worse, whatever. But
Right.
because of the whole civil rights thing, I see what you're saying. Because I keep forgetting that this is supposed to take place back in the 50s.
Yeah, because they keep playing fucking Nirvana
Yeah, and that's
you know.
sorry to interrupt you guys, but that's the biggest problem they always have. When they take on a serious subject or a serious topic like civil rights or people with disabilities, they have an awful way of showing it because they have nothing to back it up. Again, I keep going back to Breaking Bad because when they killed a child, it was kind of bad, but also it told an interesting story that people who's in a drug game, they'll do anything to pretty much do what they want. Here, they haven't pretty much described why these characters are doing this. They didn't say like why this era is doing this and that. Like there was some key characters in that time spree that made a difference in the world. Besides Martin Luther King, there's a lot of people, and I know this show's not taking advantage whatsoever. So I don't like them. I don't like them playing around with history because they suck at history.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they haven't done a good job at reminding us of when in time this is taking place.
Right.
So I definitely see what you're saying where um, her character is just as intelligent of a person as the fake mind reader chick, but because fake mind reader chick is white and blonde and petite
Yeah.
and cute or whatever, people take her at some kind of face value for what she is,
Which they're touching on. Which,
Yeah,
and they
Yeah.
well, yeah, but they for the most part they don't really question her. But then when you bring in Gabrielle Sidibe's character in that time, people are naturally going to assume that she's ignorant, that she knows nothing, that she probably doesn't speak well, this and that, because it's a racial stereotype that's
Right.
totally unfounded and ridiculous. So I can see I can see where you're bringing that from. I hadn't put it in that perspective. That of course she can speak properly because she educated herself, or her mother or someone educated her.
Right.
She took the time to learn.
you can, and that's the thing. I don't know that they need to tell us all that because you can see that she was in school when she called. She's working
There's a
hard.
work-
Her mother's a maid. So already she comes from the service industry or the blue collar, whatever the hell a maid is considered.
Well, pretty much lower, like, pretty much I had to say this, but kind of like a slave worker if you think about it. But that's
Well,
just
yeah, all employment is slavery. Listen, they just figured out how to put a spin on slavery, and instead of buying people outright, they've been leasing us fucking penny by penny.
Yep.
And if you want to say something when you're at work, you'll lose it. Your family will starve to death. So just shut up and take it. I mean, that's essentially how we run ourselves, and that's the bullshit we allow.
And I think that the mom, who was the maid, the way that she spoke was, it wasn't with as much of an educated vocabulary, I guess is maybe how I want to say it.
Yeah, so you're right, because she did have a bit more sass to her,
And so maybe we naturally
although
assume,
it was Patti LaBelle, isn't she supposed to be like the queen diva? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she is.
Patti LaBelle brought her sass to it, and Patti LaBelle's a very intelligent person.
Oh, yeah, she's very.
But she was playing a character, and she was in the time frame where you figure if this is early 50s, she probably didn't, because of the whole civil rights and everything, she probably didn't have a very good education. So that's why she's now a maid, because she wasn't given a good education.
And she worked hard, and she gave her daughter a good education, and her daughter made sure to respect that by speaking as proper as possible. Like, where is my mother?
She wants,
she grew up around Dandy, as you saw when she was tied to the chair. She grew up with the looking. She grew up in the shadow of these rich white people.
Yeah.
So like, this is what she has to This isn't what she always growing up had to beat. Had to transcend the average expectation of the time to what she saw, the better life.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna say, I think it's a good call on Sidibe.
Yes.
Sure reminds me of my grandma.
Now, what do you guys think of the three boobed lady? Now that she's not really a freak anymore. I mean, granted,
She still got 3 titties.
That's Total Recall, dude. That's Total Recall.
Listen, you
Okay, but I
you
mean-
can find out that tiny penis is actually a big clitoris, but you can't hide the 3 titties.
but she hasn't been having them, and that was one thing that kind of irked me. Was in the beginning when they first brought her in, it was like they were always out, and now they're all covered up. They're not really part of her story.
Because they're ridiculous looking.
Well, yeah. But that's something that's easy. You know, she can easily cover up, and she could always fit into society unless she was dressing with like the low cut shirts and showing off her third boob. So I'm kind of wondering what are they going to do with her character.
Nothing.
You know, she was leading the whole thing about going and getting Paul's girlfriend's dad and doing away with him. So I'm wondering, is she gonna be part of it? And she was really close with Ethel. So is she now going to be part of an uprising against Elsa because people are going to think that Elsa had something to do with Ethel's death?
Oh, if they think it at all, yeah, you better believe everyone's part of that uprising.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if she might help lead it because they have to do something with her.
They don't because they're not gonna plan on doing it. Because if you think about it, they're minority characters. They treat them again. This is just my opinion. They don't give them enough good lines. Like again with the world's smartest lady. She didn't get enough scenes until we saw a flashback. It's like, oh, so that's kind of weak flashback. And then the 3 titty lady, Total Recall, I like to call her. She didn't get that much lines, but when you actually see some character development, it stops because of some other asshole says, "Oh, you shouldn't do it because it's wrong," and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
I was gonna say really quickly, Patty LaBelle's character was in it. I liked her for who she was because she wasn't just a generic character.
Mm-hmm.
When he killed her off, it's like, oh, so okay. And you do know her daughter Precious isn't that stupid, so she knows Danny's lying. She knows him so well that it's not funny. So yeah, and they'll give the minority women or pretty much minority men enough screen time with pretty much good lines. And that's just me taking it, but I'm just like saying it.
No, that's the Hollywood. That's like Hollywood laws. I think it's written.
Yeah.
Well, with Ma Petite specifically, the actress does not speak English. So every time that she had lines, the little bit that she said, they had to have someone translate to her, well, this is what your character has to do. So if they wanted her to smile and do this, or whatever they wanted her to do, they had to have a translator there to teach her what it was they wanted her to do. I think I'm hoping that eventually she'll be really big in Bollywood because I think she's adorable, and I think that she did act very well in the show, because I've seen documentaries about her, and that's not her personality.
Right.
So she
You better believe that Bollywood is knocking down her door right now.
They better be.
If you're in Hollywood, and you're from India, Bollywood's coming your way.
Oh, of course.
Because Bollywood is just as big. Some people allegedly Bollywood's bigger than Hollywood. I don't know if that to be true.
I think it is a little bit.
They do say it. They say it's a little Hollywood. That Bollywood is like Hollywood light, but in the last 10 years, Bollywood's really upped its game and it is spending so much money.
Because of creativity and plus big hit movies like The Raid and the Raid series and stuff like that nature is like, damn, that's some good shit over there. But
I don't know that the Raid movies were Bollywood, but I know that Bollywood is mostly fucking musical. So, and
there's quite a bit of music in their movies. Yeah.
I know that weird one with the cop who skids out. You see the GIF all over Google Plus. He skids his car. He gets out. He throws a gun in the air. He does 50 kicks and weird motions, and then catches the gun and then shoots a bunch of people. I don't know. It's weird.
It's kind of funny.
I know that's Bollywood because they're actually starting to do stuff that's not just traditional and
right, and they're doing more creative things.
Yeah, like you said, creative. And when they get even more creative, when they get a little darker, I'll be there. Because
Yeah.
Bollywood's just a little too light for my taste.
Right, and plus also if you look at it, Bollywood and Korean Hollywood is pretty much blown up more than Hollywood itself because if you look at Korean films or any type of Asian films, they have more depth into them. Because like if you guys ever seen that one movie called The Man from Nowhere, it's on
I've heard
Netflix.
it.
It's very very good. It's like Taken, but it has great acting, great action. It's all around a perfect movie for me. And for people who likes drama and action put together, this was great. So I think I see a future like Korean and Bollywood films pretty much being a big hit nowadays. Because people want to say they want originality. They want something new and different.
Okay. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Well, I hate to bring it, but the men behind the curtains are telling us it's getting to the time. So, what
Ooh.
what did we miss before we get to wild speculations?
Um, Bathtub full of blood. That was cool.
Oh yeah, all right. I mean, okay, we'll end with that and Dandy. Anything else we missed?
Oh yeah, we missed that one stupid chick. We were gonna say some crap about her because we already did that. That
Yeah, I
fake.
already did it in her horrible acting. Yeah,
Oh yeah, okay, good. We don't talk about her anymore. Good, thank God.
yeah. I want her off the show.
Same
I'm
here.
sick and
She's
tired.
sucked.
So, all right, Dandy, that stuff with the shrink when he was talking about eating people and assuming their powers, and they did screw us over when he was in that tub of blood. You don't see, excuse me, you don't see his wrists, so he very well could have killed himself. So it could have been a cliffhanger this week. However, they come right into the previews, and it's all Dandy in the previews. So obviously, it was his mother's blood he was bathing in.
I don't watch
Right.
the previews.
That was like Bloody Mary.
Sorry about that.
That was like Bloody Mary nonsense.
Well, having not seen the preview, were you left wondering, did he kill himself, or was that his mother's blood?
No, I was thinking that it was his mother's blood.
All right,
Yeah.
because they did lead us there in the But even though they said it earlier, they could have just avoided him in the damn trailer, and they could have left people wondering, maybe he killed himself.
Yeah, but again, we're not really truly invested into that character. Like, who is this guy? Why should we care about him? Because we know nothing about him. And I was like, oh, I would see more about that doctor because he was actually interesting. Because the supporting characters are actually interesting than the main characters themselves. I mean, it's not it's not negative talk towards Jimmy or Jessica Lange's character or any of the other freaks at the carnival. But if you look outside the carnival, you see better act, you see better storytelling, you see everything is better over there than in the carnival because the main arc itself is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Well, now that they killed off what's her face, yeah. Well, that actually that leaves me with a question. Do you think that guy is really Elsa's? The guy the doctor, who says he's going to be her agent and take her to Hollywood, and then she's like, "Why are you helping me? Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "You're my client. I do what I can to whatever." Do you really think there is something in Hollywood that he has a part of? And
No.
That was bullshit. He's just like Saul. He's talking all that shit.
Yeah, he just wants to gain her confidence.
so but to what end? If he already got Ma Petite and they've already sold her off, why help really? I mean,
Well,
he can
he's
get
a
more
con
freaks.
artist. The more people, he's a con artist. The more people that he can get killed, and he can take their bodies and he can sell them to that museum, the more money he's going to make. He's in it for the money.
Right.
So you think he's going to send the bearded head?
I think I'm wondering. I'm thinking if he stole it.
Well, what's left for him to get? He's not going to get the big girl. He's not going to. The pinheads are not really
interesting.
I mean, pinheads were a dime a dozen in that time. Any freak show you went to had a couple of pinheads running around. So I'm not sure that somebody would want to buy a pinhead body or skeleton.
The twins are still there.
They're still there, yeah.
The lobster boy with his
Jimmy.
hands. That's something that's wildly interesting. That a little bit for. Paul is very interesting.
Paul's the only one I could really see them wanting to.
Yeah, Paul.
And
He's interesting.
what about the woman who doesn't have legs? That she walks on her hands?
Oh, she'd be very, very interesting.
Why can't they just cut anybody in half and send it in?
Well, because hers is actually, she was born that kind of a way, and it'll be very interesting to have that type of.
Does she poop?
Yes.
Yeah.
From where?
It's complex. Trust me.
Her poop hole?
Is it literally just like a poop hole, or is there an anus and a vagina?
Yes.
There is.
All of that. It's just her legs are gone.
She looks like she's just at the stomach missing. I mean,
that's pretty much the illusion behind it.
It's because she's an adult. She's like in her 30s or 40s. That the actress, and that woman actually has a son. The actress has a grown son.
Actually, they have 2 kids by her husband. Yeah.
Well.
Okay, I guess she does have a vagina then, and it works.
Yeah, it's just that her body looks different. It looks like she's just stomach because all of her weight has been pushing on her bottom, the bottom of her body for so long that it's kind of rearranged where everything inside of her is.
Mm-hmm.
So
like when women wear those corsets that smush them all together, when they have an X-ray, their heart is pushed up and their rib cage is like smushed in and everything's moved around.
So basically, she's got the parts; they're just somewhere else.
Yeah, it's just adapting to the body itself. It's just adapting to the new environment.
Yeah.
That's gotta be interesting.
It kind of is.
I don't know. I don't know. Show me a freak, and I'm wondering about its genitals.
I'm kind of annoyed because I found on the telegraph.co.uk I found this thing, Meet the Characters, and as I go through, they're showing they show Edward Mordrake of all people, but they don't show the half woman.
Yeah, that is a little ridiculous.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid. I don't know why.
But I think why is because wild speculation time, folks.
Yay.
I think Mordork is coming back soon, and I think he's going to be prominent. I think Neil Patrick Harris's character is going to have something to do with that. The whole thought came when we were talking earlier about Kathy Bates being gone and stuff. I'm wondering maybe when Mordrake took Twisty, that wasn't his real target. Maybe he really did decide his target was Elsa, but he had to let Elsa sort of
redemption.
No, well, yeah, maybe there was a chance for redemption for her, but maybe it was just like, okay, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna sow your seeds and you're gonna do your evil, but while you're sowing it, I'm back here in hell reaping it all, and I'm gonna bring it onto you in bounties when I come back for you. So when he comes back, he's gonna have Ethel, and he's gonna have all the people that she's harmed and wronged throughout the season, and they're all gonna eat her.
That'd be interesting.
Just read something that I did not know. Are either of you aware that Erica Irvin, the woman who plays the Amazon character, the really tall lady, apparently Erica Irvin is trans?
Oh, okay, I can see that. I can see that a lot.
I totally do not.
Well, you see, that doesn't really count. Okay, transsexual, as in a transgender, might have had a sex change, might not have had a sex change, or trans in the way some people refer to hermaphrodites.
Okay, let me.
A transsexual, a trans person is a.
I know what they are. I just want to make sure you were which one you're not using that word for hermaphrodite.
No, because a hermaphrodite is not trans. A hermaphrodite is actually called intersex.
Yes.
Yeah, Erica Irvin apparently was born, maybe Eric, I don't know, was born a man and has transitioned to a woman because Erica decided.
Well, I call foul then. I call foul.
No, because I can explain this even more because I did some study on this one myself. That one person who thinks they're something of a different gender, because the chemicals in the brain are pretty much off balance. It says they're not receiving the same signals as you and I are. Like me and Todd know we're guys. Emmy knows she's a woman. However, a person who's a transgender, they have like a split personality disorder coming in play here because they don't know who they are exactly. So,
I wouldn't put it that way. I don't
I
agree
know.
with that.
Or maybe they know exactly who they are. I'm still waiting for the doctor to tell me if it's a tiny penis or a giant clit.
Oh, Mary, speaking of doctor, we forgot one person. We forgot.
Wait. Let's not go. I want to say why I call foul on that. Because then she's not really an Amazon woman in the sense that would qualify for freak. Sure, now she is a woman. And by the way, good job, I guess. I had no clue because for an Amazonian, I was like, oh, she's not a bad-looking
No.
tall woman.
I'm saying the actress is a person who is trans.
Yeah.
The character is just supposed to be a woman.
Oh, I know, but that doesn't change the fact of anything. As I know in the show, it's supposed to be a woman, but they're supposed to be casting all real freaks, and they were using her as like we found the Amazonian woman and stuff, and like they were using her in the Meet the Freak stuff. And
Okay.
technically, I don't think that would count because if she was born a woman, then and she was of that size, then she would be freakish to an average woman. But being born a man and being that size, there's nothing freakish about that.
Right.
Okay, I see where you're going with that.
Now the doctor,
The doctor.
Isaiah.
Oh, the doctor. Sorry, that was too much translate. But also talking about her latest.
Too busy thinking about transsexuals and intersex.
No, Dragon Age, but that's a different story.
Oh, okay. Well,
Anyways,
same thing.
pretty much. But when it comes to when Kathy Bates character talking about her legs getting she was getting new legs, we saw the Sax Man.
Yes, you missed that. That was when you walked away, and
Okay.
Emmy was commenting about your booty. She was wondering where that G-string was from when
It's
you
an
email
awesome
reviews.
booty now. It's an awesome booty, folks.
Because if the audience doesn't know, you can catch Mr. Mullins weeknights at a Chippendales in wherever the fuck he lives. And
I'm not cheap.
tassels,
So
G-strings, banana hammock.
I have speculation about that doctor. We might see him like in the near future, because his character in Coven was okay, not the best.
I thought it was a pretty cool character. But go ahead.
It was like underused though, like it wasn't used enough. So we might see his character again, explaining even more about Kathy Bates' character, and Jessica Lange's character even more, pretty much discovering that she's pretty much a damaged woman. And so he would know that, and he pretty much fell in love with that damaged woman. So we might see that character in the near future.
I think we very well may. I think there's a chance of it, although it may just be a cameo.
Either or.
What about you, Emmy? What's your speculation?
There's so much that we've speculated that has not happened, or the very tiny things about, like, all of us were like, oh yeah.
Tiny things. You're gonna mock me now, right?
No, not this time. No, but we all thought, Strongman's gay, and he was, but it didn't come out the way that we all thought it would. So things aren't really. Whenever we've speculated on something, most of it is not going the way that we were thinking. So I want to stop speculating because I keep kind of disappointing myself. Because I thought something was going to happen, and I'm like, this would be so great for the storyline, and then it doesn't happen, and I'm like, they really should have gone with what we said last week.
I think that's what we did last year. We crafted in our own minds, at least, the most awesome series of Coven.
Yeah,
and it didn't come out that way. Yeah, I've actually backed off of speculations a lot.
Well,
and for most of the shows that we do, because you know what, I just want to enjoy the show for what it is. I think I put myself in front of the shows a lot, and a lot of us do that as viewers, and we're judging things based on what we would expect. And it's like, duh, we didn't make this. Why do we think it would go this way? This is, somebody else's, interpretation. I think we need to examine the material more and deeper and try to understand what this other person was trying to put out, because they spent all this time and effort and energy. It can't be real idiocy. We must be the dumb ones. We just must not be getting it. You know what I mean?
We're just too smart.
But I guess that does it. I guess we are done. We have reached the official maximum Geeks of the Round hangout time of 1 hour on the dot, and there's already electricity buzzing under my seat from the executive producers. They're telling me to move it on, Charlie.
Move it on out.
Well, I would have loved to keep going, but, got to do what we got to do.
Right.
No.
All right, so good times, guys. We got no more Walking Dead. No more Blacklist. I'm pretty sure Sleepy Hollow's over.
I think one more episode. I can't tell.
No, I think that was the mid-season finale. Yeah.
That was the finale.
Flash,
finale.
Arrow, are they still going, or was that?
That crap. I'm sorry. I'm just.
But it's still going, right?
Yes.
Okay. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. still going.
Yes.
So it looks like Geeks of the Round are only doing 4 shows right now: Arrow, Flash, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and American Horror Story. Yeah. So it looks like you guys won't see me again until next Thursday.
Oh, the sadness.
I don't watch Men in Tights.
Hey, that's fine by me.
He doesn't watch Men in Tights. He is a man in tights.
No, he's not.
I'm a man.
No.
I'm Robin.
He's my merry men.
Oh my.
Merry men. All right. So yeah, that's it. I really don't know what else to say. Let's start with the pimpin'. Amy on the left. Do you have anything to pimp?
I would like to say that last week I had asked about how you go about getting a new series put into Geeks of the Round, and I was told contact someone, so I did, and I am happy to report that I don't know who all is going to be there yet, but Isaiah and I will be doing a hangouts for the 3rd season of Orphan Black. We're going to do one recap of season 1, one show for the recap of the whole season, one show for the whole recap of season 2, and then we'll start off with season 3 doing weekly shows.
Right.
Yeah, you guys actually, you didn't talk, you went through the democracy route. You went to the community. That's the one that got the attention. So anybody who's a part of the Geeks and Around community, you want to get a show going, you want to do this yourself, put it up in the community. People will see it, people will comment, and if it gets traction, it happens, just like this. And the panel is Emmy, Isaiah, Charles, and Lou Rod, I believe. That's who watches it, and I'm pretty sure who's joining the conversation, too. And I've got season 1 and 2 I might be joining, but...
Well, you should watch it, man. It's a great show.
Me too.
I don't have time to wake up in the morning. I mean, let alone do all this shit.
He has to go mine more coal.
Right.
And on that note, I'm going to go mine more coal.
Yes.
Yay.
I really need a new computer. Isaiah, can we get some jazz hands? And as Charles would say, goodbye, damn it, do those jazz hands again, Emmy, because now it's just your face. All right, there we go. The jazz hands, and as Charles would say, goodbye, everybody.